Thank you so much. Well, have you seen this photo? It's photoshopped. It's an image of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and it's being used to protest the George Zimmerman verdict. As you can see, if you're listening on the radio, it's Martin Luther King Jr. in a hoodie. Looks just like Trayvon Martin. The image, the work of artist Nicholas Smith, quickly gone viral. And our next guest, Dr. King's niece, is not happy about it. Joining me now, Dr. Alveda King. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning, Gretchen. How are you?
You know, I feel for you this morning because, you know, to have your uncle put in that kind of a photo, it just immediately puts you into this controversial situation and almost forces you to have to respond to it. Number one, what is your response? And number two, how do you feel about somebody using your uncle's image in this way?
I'm not angry about the art or the artist, Nicholas Smith. I think it's actually very creative, but I'm very saddened because it makes a controversial debate and it takes away from many of the messages of my uncle. So when I see that particular image, I don't immediately think of him saying, we must learn to live together as brothers, and I add in this century as brothers and sisters, or perish as fools. So when I see that image, I don't see the love, I don't see the reconciliation, I don't see the harmony of knowing that we are one human race. None of his message is conveyed there. The compassion's not there. And yet the anger and the hurt for Trayvon is there. And so I believe that there's much more room in an artistic picture to show the message and compassion of the man,
well,
and that's what's missing.
Dr. King, what do you think the message of the artist was? I mean, for example, would your uncle, Martin Luther King Jr., be wearing a hoodie in 2013?
Well, 2013, at his age as a mature man, definitely not. I don't believe as a teenager he would wear one, because I grew up with his father was my grandfather, and he always says, when you go out of that door, you represent Jesus, you represent your family, and you represent your community. And so that was just a standard of dress that we had, and so our clothing was always in that manner. And even in this century, many members of our family still carry out what Daddy King established. But the message that's there, I do understand the message that the artist was trying to convey, you know, to give us, to convey and say, pain, Trayvon is dead, and his dream died with him. We understand that. And then but I say, you know, Zimmerman's dreams were deferred as well. So I'm saddened. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. But I'm very sad that much of Martin Luther King Jr.'s message is missing in that particular image.
What has been your reaction, Dr. King, over the last week or so since the verdict was rendered? Personally, how do you feel about it?
I personally feel, I have three adult children who are attorneys, and I'm a former state legislator. And so as I looked at that case, very early I said they will be able to establish reasonable doubt. Unfortunately, it just wasn't as simple as that, because Trayvon should never have been killed. And I'm very saddened by that, and I stand in prayer with his family. But justice did prevail, human justice in a human court. And I say now, justice has been served, but we need to serve God. We have to have a message of nonviolence, of peace, of resolution. And I admire Trayvon's family from the very beginning. They said, we don't want violence, we don't want this type of conflict, we want justice. And so as we continue to pray for his family and also the family of George Zimmerman, I believe that two lives, two families, and a global community, and at least a national community, we've been very much harmed by the death of Trayvon Martin.
All right, Dr. Alveda King, thank you so much for your thoughts with us this morning. Have a good rest of the week.
Thank you.